Hello? I don't know how this works. I've never streamed from my phone on YouTube before. Does the chat... Do I click this button? Oh, live chat. Oh. Wow, this is actually way better than the Twitch streaming app. That's crazy. I don't know if it just... Hello? Hi, everyone. Hi! I'm Brad. And this is one of the most exciting streams I'll ever do. Yeah, it's starting early. I just want to make sure that everything was working before the 1:30 time mark. Yeah, I've been recovering. Oh, thank you, everyone. Thank you for the wishes, the happy birthdays. Thank you. Just so everyone understands before we start this stream, I'm currently at Epcot, which is one of the theme parks at Disney World. I'm on mobile data. So if things, I don't think things will cut out. I found a really stable internet place, and it's very quiet. So, yeah, keep that in mind. I have a lot of cool stuff to talk about, I think. Like, I personally think I have a lot of cool stuff. We'll see if you guys think it's cool. But I also want to introduce, with me, we'll be talking a lot of different topics. And one of those topics may be Sandbox, the game I've pretty much made a couple of videos on. This is Gyarados, and
hello.
He is basically all over Sandbox news, and like he's the one that added full body tracking to Sandbox and everything. Why did the thing stop?
Yep.
Yeah, so if you ever have any Sandbox questions, I will literally give the camera to him to answer.
Interesting.
Does everything work like... It's not a question, it's like... Turn down. Make sure... Yeah, no doggo, because I am at Disney World, and he's not a service animal yet. So, I wish I could bring my dog everywhere. Alright, we're about to start.
Wow.
If you have any questions... I don't know how's the delay? Can you check that at least?
Not that bad.
Not that bad. So yeah, I'm gonna go over some topics, but you can also start asking questions now. About like if you have any questions about any of my videos I've been making, especially about Index 2. I've been learning a lot of really cool stuff. I'll probably just talk about that in general without questions, but questions help me understand what people are curious about. How old am I? I'm 27 now. I am old. I am very old. That's crazy. I wish the chat would not... Why does the chat, like, go away? I hate that. It's very annoying. Brad, you've ruined everything by explaining barofocal... Good! You're welcome! You're welcome. So, yeah, we'll just get started. First, I want to talk about... Would you replace your current trackers when stonks? I don't know if it's... That's like... Okay. I would have to test it and see if it's actually good. If it's good, yeah, I'll probably... That's like with anything. Like, I'm not going to say I'm going to switch to something without at least having a review unit, or at least knowing someone that's tried it nearby me. So, that's just with everything, though. Anyway... very old, you're 41. Well, you know, I've been seeing a lot, like, ever since the Quest 2 came out, I saw a lot of new YouTubers pop up, VR YouTubers. And in the VR YouTuber scape, I feel I'm pretty old compared to them. Alright, I want to start with some announcements about the channel in general. Or not really the channel. The channel, I want to first premise this by saying, the channel... as it is, it's gonna stay like it is forever. Like, this sort of home style thing I do, where I don't really take sponsorships, I don't advertise my Patreon, I don't do anything like that, and I also do a very laid-back style. That being said, I wanted to announce, some people might have known this, but if you do not know this, I've been working, actually the past few months, with Thrill Seeker. If you don't know him, he's one of the biggest VR YouTubers, and he's been around since 2019.
No way.
And And
I had no
he's
idea.
starting up something called Thrill Seeker Media Group, which is a huge, huge, thanks for the birthday wishes, huge thing. We want to do a bunch of amazing VR events, a bunch of amazing videos, just literally a VR focused media group that is just focused on making awesome VR content and just exploring all possibilities with that, and also branch out into other things such as events and developing hardware and even software in the future, which is great for me because I love what I do. I love it a lot, recently especially, but because I'm so weird about sponsorships and advertising and like taking money from people, I've never had a lot of funds to do the stuff that I wanted to do. So with Thrill Seeker Media Group, I'm actually joining Thrill Seeker Media Group as like a partner creator with Thrill. So me and Thrill will be constantly working together with that new company. So what is saying? I will always be lazy. Yes. Well, that's let me get into that in a minute. But like, yeah, I mean, I will be working full time for Thrill Seeker, and all that channel that we're gonna be starting up. A lot, like I said, a lot of videos that have been happening. Not every video, but a lot of the few videos I've been helping throw out, gather information. That's why you see a lot of Index 2. Like a lot of our Index 2 news overlap. It's because literally, like, even sometimes before I make a video of my own about what I've researched about Index 2, I write a synopsis for Thrill Seekers so he can cover it in Tuesday Newsday and stuff. So, we're gonna get into Index. There's some really interesting Index news. Just stay with me. I know I'm gonna get to it. There's a lot of cool stuff. Like, I'm really excited to talk about. That's why I kind of wanted to do a live stream because I just did. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But yeah, I will be joining Thrill Seeker Media Group. It'll be like a full great thing, and we're gonna be doing because it's a company. We're going to be doing something called a capital raise, where it's going to be kind of like a crowdfunding, but it's for people that, a lot of people like to give to creators and Thrill Seeker, and also to me, to create content. But I never like those things because Patreon, I never feel like I give anything back except my content, which I design it with the idea that everything I upload and make, it's free content. That's just the way it is, right? Like, I don't charge. You don't go on YouTube and expect to be charged for the videos, and I've always kind of had that mindset. So with that in mind, if you ever want to actually support me or Thrill, literally probably next week there's gonna be a big. You're gonna hear it on every social media from both of us about this new company, TMG, and we're looking for money so we can literally start this big venture. And what you guys get out of it if you invest, which I'm not telling you to invest, I'm just saying if you're interested in, you buy a stake in the company. It's literally like stocks. That's why you might have seen Thrill Seeker tweet TMG to the moon, because it's literally like stocks, but you're buying a piece of the company so we can do cool stuff. So you people are trying to tease me with Index. You know when the Steam Deck came out, it was like the worst possible time for me. Like, literally, when the Steam Deck was announced, I was not home. I was hours away from home, with no way to get back for like a couple days. And literally, when I ordered the Steam Deck, it was in a weird parking lot in the middle of downtown Miami. And I connected my laptop to my phone's mobile hotspot and spammed that buy button, and luckily got in the first wave. But holy frick, that was so stressful.
Steam Deck?
Steam Deck. Yeah, Steam Deck. Which Steam Deck I think is very important for VR, so that's why it cares. Anyway, I'm gonna take questions at the end of the stream. So hold your question. I know I said start asking questions, but I actually changed my mind. So save your question for the end of the stream. Again, thanks for all the birthday wishes and people coming in. But I really want to talk about Index 2 now, because I think that stuff is. Thank you, everyone. So if you did not see, what was it, a few days ago, I uploaded a video that I thought I thought people were gonna hate it, because it was literally about a lawsuit that Valve filed against a company. And this company turned out to be a very important company for the future of the Valve VR projects, like the Index 2. I did a video 2 weeks ago talking about varifocal lenses and how Valve was exploring these new next generation lenses for the Index 2. Like, they're very serious about it, right? I talked about that. But all I had, and a lot of my videos, are patents. Like, that's what I cover. I read patents and I cover them. But literally, after okay, so the lawsuit that Valve filed against this company called Imagine Optics. It's so exciting. They're the ones. They are the ones that will make the lenses for Valve Index 2. And what's really interesting, this lawsuit, I was able to, when I made the video a few days ago about the lawsuit, I didn't have all the information because a lot of the documents from the lawsuit were completely like locked behind paywalls, and like people that you need to be like have a lawyer's license or something to access all the information. I didn't have that, so I had to kind of scourge the internet for a bunch of articles and stuff to piece things together. But since I uploaded that video, a lot of people came to me. A lot of people came up to me on Discord and DM'd me and stuff, giving me those documents. So after the video, I learned even more about this company. And first of all, Valve has been working with this company since 2018. In the video, I talked about how they give Imagine Optics a $1 million loan. Well, back in 2018, at the same time, Imagine Optics also received a $9 million investment from Valve. That was $9 million out of their $11 million they were looking for. So a huge stake of the company. And in the actual lawsuit documents, they literally talked about how Valve came to them, invested a bunch of money with the express purpose so that this company, Imagine Optics, who again is building all the new technology I mentioned in that patent video, varifocal lenses for Valve Index 2, and Valve wanted them to build a factory just for them, just to build lenses for their next generation hardware. And that factory exists now. I even received some info that there's been a lot of, well, not even just, okay, I actually can't talk about that. What I can talk about is actually, last year, when they were sued, okay, before they were sued, they were very proud because they reached a $5 million investment deal with a company, which is why I think Valve sued them. We'll get into that in a minute because I want to recap on that too. But and in that interview, because it was like some local news, the company is based in North Carolina, and in that interview, they talked about how they were planning to ship last year their first product, their first lens system. That could literally mean ship their lens system for whatever product decides to use it in. However, that interview was before Valve sued them. And a lawsuit happened for months. Because what I think happened, this is kind of like a speculative part. This new investor that invested $5 million, which was capped, they could not invest any more in the company. I think they did it behind Valve's back, which is a big deal because Valve, again, owns a huge stake in this company, and this new company, whoever it is very interested. This stream will be up, by the way, afterward. This company is very interested in what they're doing. Probably for VR, AR, it could be Facebook, it could be Sony, it could be Apple, it could be any of these companies. Every VR company wants this technology because it's all proprietary technology from Imagine Optics. So Valve sued them for their loan of $1 million. And yeah, when I was making that video a few days ago, I was depressed because I thought the lawsuit was actually detrimental to the progress and like all this crap. I thought this was a very depressing video, but literally as I was editing the video, it was found that Valve dropped all lawsuit charges against Imagine Optics, which says to me personally, again, this is like a guess, but like Valve dropped the lawsuit because they came to a settlement with Imagine Optics. They discussed the issue with their new investor that clearly really pissed Valve off. Valve did not want this. Like, Valve has been investing a lot of money and time in Imagine Optics, and then a new player, you know, that's like taking part control of the company. Valve was pissed. But they dropped all charges, all the settlement, and literally a couple months after that, is when Valve submitted all those patents that I covered in the varifocal next generation lens video. So that says a lot of things. Either it could mean like either that because they came to a settlement and allowed the company, the new investor, to own a stake in the company that Valve really was pissed off about, maybe Valve was like, okay, we need to rush these patents out now because we don't want this company who we're working with to use this lens technology in another headset, basically. But yeah, Imagine Optics, look up their website later. Imagine Optics with a X at the end, .com. They explain all their cool technologies that they've been working on. It's insane. Volvo has the patents. Did Volvo share the idea? What I think happened, I think part of the settlement bull, Andreas Aronson, I think what happened, I think part of the settlement was, this is my guess, again, this is complete speculation, but I think Imagine Optics had the proprietary technology.
Nothing.
There's an idiot next to me. And in exchange for letting this new investor, who Valve really did not want them probably to interact with Imagine Optics would let Valve patent their technology for use in VR and AR headsets and their tracking stuff. Which, another cool thing about their technology and their polarizers, I thought their I reported in my patents video that I thought their polarizers were only to benefit reflections, because they're working on a new tracking system, which apparently worked with Lighthouse space stations, at least maybe 2.0 at the base. But also, so you could literally use it as a markerless inside-out tracking headset. So, name so butchered, I'm sorry. But I learned from a keynote that was also paywalled from I've been literally researching everything about Imagine Optics since I made that video, and I've been finding so much information. But apparently, they figured out that if you use these special polarizers, they can also increase the FOV of the tracking sensors for VR headsets. So, like, let's say, like, an Oculus Quest has 4 cameras, right? IR cameras. If they were using this Imagine Optics polarizers with the tracking, they could only need 2 tracking, but receive the same range of tracking volume. Maybe not the same tracking rate, but that is really fascinating. Like, when I read that on this keynote, I was like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. Because the big thing about that is the less sensors you have, the cheaper the headset is, right? What if they implement it for their Lighthouse sensors too? So they can have some of the new sensors, which are for markerless inside-out tracking, and they can use the polarizers for the Lighthouse tracking. So they can have less over the headset, cover a wider range of tracking with less sensors, which makes the headset cheaper. That's a really cool technology, in my opinion. I think that's really sick. But yeah, everything else is still like the lens technology, the same stuff. Works for astigmatism, works for myopia, all this, and varifocals. Like, all this stuff. Imagine Optics is literally the key company in all of this. So, it's insane. Like, I can't believe that it's not only good for me because it's so nice to have something that isn't just patents that I've been kind of talking about for kind of the past year, and like literally have proof of a company not only having this technology, showing it off, but actually has factories, and for Valve, building this technology now, manufacturing it as we speak, at mass volumes, by the way. So when people say Index 2 is far away, I personally don't believe that at all, because I really think that Valve has been planning this since 2018, before the Index 1 came out. And next year is such an important year for VR hardware. We have PSVR 2 coming out, we have the next Quest coming out. I don't see Valve just letting all this competition not be upstage with what they're working on. It just seems, I think at worst 2023, but I swear by next year. That's my personal thing. Like, I swear by it. I even think that if Valve didn't have this issue with their Imagine Optics company, we could have seen an announcement this year. But that settlement, that lawsuit lasted from March until December. of last year, and during COVID too. So a lot of problems with that too. But like, it's big stuff. Seriously, like it's such a big story. Oh my god, I'm just so excited. All right, yeah, I think that's all I remember. So let's begin with questions. Again, I literally research this constantly. So start asking your questions about anything. I'll talk about my upcoming projects I'm working on that are not Index 2 related, but since we're on the Index 2 topic in general, ask your questions. Could it be named something else? Yeah, it probably won't be called Index 2, honestly. It could be, but I don't really see them. I just call it Index 2 because like for titles, you wanna you wanna name your title something that people can understand. So if I like I'm just gonna say Index 2 for all my titles. What do you think about the concept of Omni treadmills? Do you think with lower latency? So I actually don't think the problem with Omni treadmills is the latency. I think the biggest thing is they don't actually feel as natural to ride on or use. It's funny you bring it up because I was saying earlier in the stream I'm working with Thrill Seeker, and I'm going to TMG's office this weekend, and they got the new treadmill from, I think it's Cat, right? KAT. I think that's who just released a treadmill pretty recently. So I'll be able to tell you guys about that eventually, but I don't really like treadmills. Up until this point, all the treadmills I've tried, they just don't feel natural. Like they're a huge learning curve, and even after that learning curve, you just feel like you're slipping on ice. So that's my opinion with treadmills. I don't really like them very much. Let me catch up with, oh my gosh, a lot of questions at once. Ways to optimize SteamVR. SteamVR 2.0, that's actually a video I'm working on. It's a very hard video, so it's not coming out for probably a month or two. But Valve's been working very hard in restructuring SteamVR to work with OpenXR like much better. Because kind of the way SteamVR works right now with OpenXR is like OpenXR is kind of just like an extension of SteamVR. And I've been seeing a lot of work done by especially Joe Ludwig, who is one of the developers for Valve, and he's kind of like, he's constantly working on OpenXR stuff. But SteamVR 2.0 in itself, we've been waiting for that forever. We don't know when that's going to come out. I'm guessing at the same time they announced Index 2, we'll see SteamVR 2.0, but there's still a lot of work to be done with that. And it'll be a completely new UI experience for SteamVR based on all the stuff that they've built for SteamOS and the new big picture mode. So SteamVR Steam VR 2.0, look at all the pictures of the UI for the Steam Deck web pages, and you have a good idea what SteamVR 2.0 UI-wise will probably look at. So, which is exciting because currently SteamVR is based on the old big picture mode, which is broken and terrible. Yeah, SteamVR is OpenVR, yes, which is different than OpenXR. People get confused. OpenVR is different than OpenXR. Treadmills also restrict. Yeah, a lot of treadmills also like kind of have you tied to them, and I don't really like that feeling either. So, Index 2 will be inside-out tracking, wireless. Oh, I'm glad you bring that up. Okay, so yeah. Well, first of all, I want to say this because I'm very smug about this. Actually, so this is very confusing, but Index and every Lighthouse base station headset is actually inside-out tracking. I know it's confusing because you have these markers, you put up these base stations, but the base stations aren't doing the tracking. The headset's doing the tracking. So technically, the Index is already an inside-out tracking headset. But markerless inside-out tracking is what you're thinking of with like Quest 2 and stuff like. And the Index 2, they're working on a new tracking system, so it can do both base stations and markerless inside-out tracking, like Quest 2. Because, they're also working on like a standalone compute unit in case people want to, bring it places. And there's no point to work on a standalone compute unit for VR unless you could literally use it in any room that you don't have Lighthouse base stations come out. It would be kind of a moot point. All right, let me catch up. SteamVR is open. Yeah. OpenXR still scares me. OpenXR is still in like a super Wild West. So like if you're a developer, OpenXR is kind of scary and exciting. Half-Life 3 when? I don't know, but I think Half-Life 3 will be VR. I kind of disagree with Tyler McVicker on his opinion about that. I think most of Valve's future games, I don't think they'll release a big title in non-VR from this point forward. In fact, I would argue that if we ever see a Half-Life 3, it would use non-invasive BCIs. whenever that comes to market. Like Project Galea. I made a video about that. It's a very cool video. Not BCI implants, but sensors that are outside your head that can tell how you're feeling. I feel like that would be a perfect step in immersion, using like biometric data and like figuring out what the player is feeling emotionally and using that as a gameplay element. That would be like Half-Life 3 in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. Okay, there's a lot of questions here. I'm sorry, I'm catching up. I like to see more social voice features integrated Steam Chat. Yeah, well, I mean, the new SteamVR 2.0. I mean, if you ever go to Steam Chat in VR, it's garbage, right? And that's because they built it on top. They kind of like threw the new Steam Chat into the old big picture mode, and you can just tell they don't work together well, like at all. They're garbage. Sorry if it's loud for a second. It just doesn't work, right? It's just it feels like trash piled on trash. So I think SteamVR 2.0 will solve a lot of those problems. In terms of SteamVR Home, SteamVR Home's actually been getting some like behind the scenes updates a little bit. I don't expect them to go full out on updating SteamVR Home. It seems like no one really cares about that too much, but like we're seeing some nice like quality of life updates to SteamVR Home, which is good. I actually have a whole video talking about. We'll get to that later. I'm working on another. I have a lot of projects I'm working on. I hope people understand. Like, I know I only release like one large video a week, but like I have a ton of projects that take a lot of time. Oh my god. Oh jeez. It's actually kind of overwhelming. I meant more like the Infinideck with a moving platform beneath the user. I haven't tried any of those, so I can't really give my opinion on them. That's how but that's just how, that's a cop-out answer, but like, I can't give my opinion unless I've tried it. I'm not gonna pretend I know about those. So, anyway. Do you think SteamVR 2.0 will have improvements in motion smoothing? Yes. I did a video about that. Look up my, I know it feels like a kind of like a advertisement, but look up my, what I call that video? Oh, Index 2 Goes Wireless. Yeah, Index 2 Goes Wireless video talks about all their new mega motion smoothing and like, split rendering stuff that they've been patenting and working on. So check out that video. I talk all about that in the video. Yeah, and they actually had a patent more recently since that video that talked about better motion smoothing. Oh, and they actually just had a patent this week. I mean, I say new, but it's like released this week. 2019, which is a lot of the Index 2 patents were submitted in 2019, which says they had at least some prototype or some idea of what they wanted to do for Index 2 already at 2019. But yeah, they updated their foveated rendering patent to basically keep up to date with the new eye tracking technology that they've been working on. I did a video about that too in my Index 2 tracks at the speed of light video. I have a lot of Index 2 videos, don't I? But yeah, foveated rendering is very important for eye tracking, especially since we're getting some ridiculous, like varifocal will require a software layer to render some things and work with it, varifocal, as well as new higher resolution OLED micro displays, which are probably going to be pretty high resolution, in my guess, compared to what way compared to what we have now. So foveated rendering, very important. And their last foveated rendering patent before 2019 was like in 2016. So like, that's a pretty big gap of the update to their patents for that. Excuse me. All right, let me catch up. Would it be worth releasing a new Index headset without newer controllers? Yeah. I mean, like I said, that's another benefit of their new tracking system. If it is backwards compatible with Lighthouse base stations, then like people who already have Lighthouse, they don't go anywhere. They have Index controllers. Just buying the headset by itself makes it cheaper to upgrade, right? That's why I always like the Lighthouse ecosystem in general, because people that even have the Vive can just upgrade to Index controllers and like improve their immersion a lot. You can't really do that with any other system really that's popular, at least. Like with Index, like Quest, when the Quest 2 came out, or no, the Quest 2 came out, you couldn't use the old Quest controllers or the Rift S controller and stuff like that. Like, You know, you have them. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to click that. All right, let's catch up. I'm trying to catch up with these questions the best I can. I'm sorry if I'm too slow. I already have. I saw someone ask if I'm gonna order Decker Gear 1. I already have a pre-order. I've had a pre-order for Decker Gear 1 since they announced it, actually. So, the Quest 2. I have double vision and wear prismatic glasses. Do you think polarizers? So the problem is when people ask me these questions, I'm not very good with knowing. I'm not an optician. I can't even say the word. I'm not good with answering those questions. I just know from what I read in patents. I know it works with people with myopia. I know it works with people with astigmatism. I know it works with people who have farsightedness. It could work for people with what you have. I just don't know because I'm not very. I don't have glasses, so I'm already like, I know less about like eyesight. I know less about eyesight than you people do that wear glasses. This is not my glasses. Thank you. Okay, let's catch up. A lot of questions. Did I borrow Nathan's mustache? Dude, he's got a kick like a serious mustache. This is just fuzz. This is 27-year-old fuzz. I can't even grow a mustache. I think it's really bad. Do you think the new tracking method will be more expensive? Well, I talked about earlier how Imagine Optics polarizers will apparently be able to allow them to have less sensors, because their polarizers will allow them to have a greater FOV tracking range. So I imagine at the end of the day, it'll be around the same price if they actually do implement polarizers to have less sensors, which again cuts down costs. So, oh, I keep pressing the wrong button. I'm really bad at this. I wish it would stay. I wish it would keep my place in the chat. I have to keep scrolling up. If HL3 isn't VR, I won't be playing it. Yeah, I mean, like, I really genuinely don't understand how Valve, after Half-Life Alyx, could make a compelling Half-Life game as more compelling than Half-Life Alyx. That's what I don't understand. How could they do it? I think it's literally impossible. Like, honestly. So, that's one big reason I think that Half-Life 3, if they ever make it, would be VR too. Or VR as well. Have I tried Varsho yet? No, but this weekend I should be able to try the XR3. We got XR3 in office. This weekend I should be able to at least set it up. How are the controllers going to be? I imagine that we're not going to get that many changes to controllers. We haven't had that many patents about their new controllers, but we can assume from the Steam Deck alone that the new controllers will use very similar thumbsticks to what the Steam Deck uses, and that'll apparently allegedly fix all the drift issues with the index controllers in general. So from what I read, and I'm not completely sure if I'm reading this right, it seems like that they are doing a little bit with controllers, but not too much difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, they might be able to support finger splay, and then like better thumbsticks. That's really all I know. And of course the new tracking technology, which the tracking video also talks about that. So, do you think they'll make a base station 3.0? I'm not sure. I'm leaning to no, honestly, because it seems like they don't need to, unless it's cheaper. It might be cheaper, and it might be beneficial to make it, but I'm not sure. I don't know. Do you think Index 2 and Quest Pro will be released this spring? So... Is this blood? What is that? No, it's some sort of sauce on my hand. It looked like blood. It's not blood. So, from what I understood, both Sony and Facebook are ordering a bunch of lenses from the same manufacturer, actually. And a very reputable source reported this. And they said that those lenses will be reportedly ramping up production in early next year. So I don't really see them releasing the next Quest till later next year, or summer or fall next year, based on that information alone. because you know that's just one company producing the lens. Also, you have to like keep in mind that also means they gotta put those in components all together with all the new stuff. So, in the future, how do you feel the feeling? I guess haptics. I don't see that we're gonna be able to plug into our brains directly to feel things. Apparently, that's like one of the apparently, it's more easy to plug into your brain's neurons to write image data to your visual cortex than it is to make you feel things with your nerves, like feel cold or something. So, basically, like the haptic suits and like force feedback is all we're gonna have for probably the next decade. I don't really think we're gonna have much feeling progress. Brad, we've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. Thank you. Well, how will the Steam Deck work for VR? Stream to a headset? I don't think it'll be powerful enough to stream wirelessly to a headset. I think it'll be able to run VR with a lot of tweaks. Tweaks is the capitalized word. But what I think the Steam Deck, most importantly, is basically the idea, or like the APU inside it is like the mid-step to the Index 2 compute unit to make it like a standalone and a compute unit that works together with a PC, whether it be a strong PC or a weak PC, to split the rendering task to make it better. So Steam Deck itself, I will be modding the heck out of it, hardware-wise and software-wise, to work amazing with my Index. That's like one of the biggest projects I'm looking forward to when the Steam Deck comes out. Is I'm literally looking at all the Valve standalone patents, and I'm gonna copy it. Like I'm gonna copy all the pictures of like strapping it to the back of the headset, and I'm gonna make that myself with like a 3D printer and like, oh, I can't wait. That's like my biggest thing I'm looking forward to. Oh, hey Rogue, thank you for the $2. Thank you. I appreciate that. Optician, yeah, whatever. Do you see the Index coming in 2020? Yeah. Like I said, I personally believe in 2022. But that's my personal opinion. A lot of people don't believe in that. But, like, I don't know. After the Imagine Optics stuff I researched, I even believe more so that 2022 is likely. Like, I don't know. I really feel that way. And it also lines up with if Valve is also using Imagine, which is the OLED micro display manufacturer, which apparently, according to SEC documents, which I read them myself, Valve did invest in that OLED company too. And these new lenses, the new lenses by Imagine Optics, they literally say that they work best with OLED. Like they make OLED displays look way better than they already do. So that's why I like it was so great. I made the patent video talking about OLED and these new lenses, and I found the Imagine Optics stuff, and it literally says everything I was talking about in that video, and it made me feel so good inside. I pressed the button again. Okay. Alright, oh, so many. I still use Vive Stations Gen 1. They're still good. Vive Stations Gen 1 are still good, except they fail. They're more likely to fail. And by that I mean I die, not have worse tracking. Like they die because they have two motors. Lighthouse 2.0 only has one spinning motor, and it's just like a hard drive. The more moving parts you have, the more likely it's gonna break down. So, do you think Facebook will have a brain interface? It looks like Facebook has finished their research on a actual BCI. They were working with, I forget which research university, but they were working with an invasive BCI, and they actually had some really good results with this invasive BCI. Or was it invasive? Maybe it was non-invasive. Oh god, I can't remember. I don't really follow the. I don't have enough time to follow every company's work. Like it's already so much work just to follow Valve stuff. So like I have people asking me about like Facebook patents and Sony patents. I'm like, I'm only one person, man. I can't do it. I can't do it all. But I don't. But after that research ended, Facebook announced that they're not pursuing it anymore. They're more focusing on using neural interfaces, which is like a watch basically that straps around your wrist, and they kind of capture the muscle movements and the motor neurons firing to get accurate finger tracking. Which you might ask, why would they do that if the Quest 2 has finger tracking and hand tracking with the cameras? Well, the benefit of this is if you're out of range of the cameras, then you would still have accurate finger tracking and stuff. But I don't know if we'll ever see that in a consumer product, personally. I feel like the tracking volume will become better over time with these kind of systems that I don't really see. I mean, well, it actually solves with occlusion too, actually. Putting your hands in front of each other so the camera doesn't have to see both of them. That's actually another benefit. Maybe we will see it, but I don't really expect it anytime soon. Half-Life Alyx 2 coming with Index 2? Nah, I doubt that. well, I actually don't follow their software work, except like with their OpenXR and SteamVR stuff. You might think that's incredibly boring, right? Like, wow, you're researching Valve and all this stuff, but you're not looking at what games they're making. Yeah, I actually don't care about that as much as like watching what they're doing with SteamVR runtime and like OpenXR and like their hardware and like Steam OS, which I think there'll be like a Steam VR OS and stuff, which that's another video one day. But yeah, I don't really know. I heard about Citadel though, which apparently will be a. This is all from Tyler McVicker. He talks about this more, but apparently it'll be like a half VR, half non-VR game, which makes sense because they have a Steam Deck that covers the non-VR Valve thing, right? And then there's the Nix Valve Index, which is VR. So and it's like the perfect game to release for both of their hardware products that they're trying to get out right now. So, all right, I'm gonna have to start cutting this short. I know I'm so sorry I can't answer every questions, but like I'm literally can't keep up. Now, and I actually want to enjoy my birthday because I'm at Epcot. So, and Gyarados is here getting bored. If you have any Sandbox questions, start asking Sandbox questions, and this guy will answer it. He knows everything about Sandbox, which is Gary's Mod 2, basically.
Well, I guess
except
so.
don't call it that, or don't report that I called it that, because the community gets pissy when I say that. But that's basically what it is. Does the Index 2 has? There was a patent that talked about haptics on the headset. Yes, which that's something apparently the PSVR 2 will have, is haptics on the headset, which is actually really immersive. I used a example. Imagine a head crab is on your face, and your headset is literally vibrating while it's on your face. Can you imagine how immersive that would be? Will it make it like? But the thing is, I don't believe that everything I cover in patents will make it to the final product. But that would be a cool one, especially since PSVR 2 is apparently going to have that 100%. So, I think it's worth it. I think if the Index 2 had varifocals, a wireless. This is a lot of stuff, but a wireless standalone unit.
Moderators.
Really? Is it bad?
Oh well.
Whatever. What was I saying? I totally forgot my train of thought.
I don't remember either.
What was I saying? I don't remember. It's probably not important. Anyway, I'm gonna answer a couple questions and then end it. Thanks for the birthday wishes again, everyone. I've seen more 2.0 base stations fail than 1.0. Yeah, I think that's an issue with Valve's manufacturer, actually, because they're making 2.0s themselves instead of using Vive or HTC. Which, say what you want about HTC, but they actually got their manufacturing and quality control down amazing. So their failure rates for their hardware is a lot less, except when they have things like a Vive Pro 2, which doesn't really go to standby mode. So if you don't turn off the button on the link box, it will literally burn out. Sorry. Sorry. Alright, one more question I'm going to read. Do you like spaghetti? I love spaghetti. Okay, one more question. That's not a question. There is Surf in VRC now? I saw that. It looks cool. Hopefully I'll make a VR on Linux video. That is a hard video to make, but I am going to make it. That's like one of the most important videos for me. Like, honestly. It's just a hard video, so it'll take a lot of time. But I will... Every video, if I put a poll out on my channel, and I have, like... If the poll's like, what's the exciting video idea? It's not that I am personally saying I am going to do a certain video first. It's just me, because I sometimes feel like a disconnect with my audience, and I'm always curious what excites people the most. So I just put out those polls there. But every video I put in as options for those kind of polls are videos I will make at one point. So don't feel like if a certain thing loses in that poll, I'm not going to do a video about it. That's not how I do my channel. So, where do you see hobby VR hardware design being in 2 years? I think every headset. Oh, what you mean like DIY? DIY? Well, that's something I'm also want to focus more on in general. Is there's a lot of cool open source and DIY projects in VR right now. There's so many. I want to cover them all because they're amazing. Slime VR, it's open source full body tracking kit. They literally, they launched yesterday, which is like pre-orders, crowdfunding pre-orders. They hit their goal of $180,000 in 12 hours. And this is an open source thing that not only can you buy it, but you can also make it at home and change the software yourself if you want to make it better. And the community has been so good with that project that they've been improving it. They've been helping the leader, Aaron, make the software better. And it's amazing. Like that's a true testament to the power of like DIY and open source, literally. It's beautiful. I love it. Index 2 resolution. No, I think it's gonna be high though. I think it's either gonna be like 2K by 2K per eye or 4K by 4K, because that's kind of like what I'm reading from. But that's literally only basing off of Imagine displays, which are the OLED micro displays I talked about in a previous video, and I'm only going off the displays they're working on, so I'm not really sure. All right. Anyway, I think that's all I had to say. Can Gyarados sing the Sandbox song? What's the Sandbox song?
Oh, I don't even know what that is.
You don't know what that
I
is?
wouldn't be able to
He doesn't
sing
even
it.
know.
I do know what it is.
Alright.
I don't want to sing it.
Oh, thank you, Rogue7, for the $5. Anyway. Yeah.
Do some real life dance moves before you end it.
Real life dance moves.
We have the world. You gotta stand up and do it.
I can't because I'm holding this tripod thing. Alright, I'm gonna do a dance to say
How
goodbye.
do I turn it around?
There's a button.
Oh. He's gonna do some real life dance moves. Do more.
Alright, everyone. That's it. Can you switch the camera? Yeah. Alright, that's everyone. Thank you. I have a lot of video projects in the works. But thank you everyone for coming. I hope I answered a lot of your questions. Feel free to join or like at me on Twitter if you have any more questions. I will try to get to them. No promises, because if I have a lot of people watching, and if a lot of people spam me with questions, I might not be able to get to all of them. But I'll do my best to answer based on the information I know. But again, this is all stuff I'm based on patent research, stuff I find in SteamVR, and more recently court documents from a lawsuit, which is very reliable information more than anything, I think. So thank you, everyone. It's been great. I had a lot of fun. Maybe we'll do this more often, like once a month, but we'll see. Bye, everyone. Oh, also this VOD's gonna stay live on the channel for anyone that missed it. Bye.